I had a nervous breakdown and submitted myself to Kaiser Hospital. It was under the requirement and recommendation that I would spend time in asylum and be admitted to it. During my time there, I was asked by a woman in an empty room if I have ever been sexually abused. I divulged private information of their names and briefly how I was molested by my cousin and cousin, both during different time periods and situations. Being mentally distraught during my stay, I also divulged information to my doctor that was assigned to my case. I told her I hear the voice of God. They took the information I gave them and diagnosed me with schizophrenia. Dr. Mullen said I was gravely disabled and recommended to my mother that I should seek to apply for benefits because she predicted or made an assessment that my mental health would only get worse. Since that time, I have been applying for benefits on and off. And I was denied every time. One time, the excuse for denial I received from a Social Security staff member called me to let me know I was denied, and she said the reason why was because I said that I work out a little bit to keep myself busy. Since 2011, I have had a few jobs, but I never made more than $1,000 in a year on my own since then. The little bit of money I made all went to bills and my food. Since then, I have struggled to find and keep a job. Being diagnosed with schizophrenia was not an easy thing for me to go through. I am currently 33 years of age. I have little to no support. I have no life savings. I live from money I am able to get together through ways I had to find for myself. I rely total financially on money my parents are able to provide for me now, which is not a lot. It is only enough to cover bills I currently have, and they are not eager or in a hurry to help me, even though I contribute to their household, this society, and the country I live in. In my medical treatment, I also have been mistreated, harmed, and judged by both medical staff and doctors who were appointed to my care. During my time in asylum in 2015, I was admitted to TRC Real. During my time there, I was jumped by medical staff and had injection forced on me because I read a sign on the wall in the room that said patients have the right to refuse medication. I saw that and decided I would say no to the shot. When that time came, I told them no, and the medical staff was taken aback by my choice. About 8 to 10 medical personnel began to present themselves in the room, and I knew they were going to take charge and try subdue me. Seeing this happen made me fear for my life and my future. They all began to creep around me, so I ran to one of the walls so they could not surround me. I was filled with an adrenaline rush, so I ran from the wall, and one of medical staff got in front of me to altercate, so I struck him in chest with a left hook. After that, he pushed me and took me down to the floor with help from others, and they held me down while I forcefully received my injection on the floor with them surrounding me. While I yelled out loud in fear, "I am on your side, I am on your side." After that, they carried me to a room with one chair that had leg and arm restraints and began to place me face down on the gurney. So already being a victim of molestation, I feared they were gonna try to sexually assault me, so I freed myself from all the hands that were restraining me, and I was able to be placed on the gurney facing forward, so I pushed down and flipped myself around on my own, so I would be placed in restraints facing forward instead of backwards. I was mentally distraught and I let out a scream or yell loudest I have probably heard. That was so loud patients heard it from the lobby area. It felt like my broken soul was reconnected in that moment, and I was able to calm back down. They asked me after that, "Why did you scream?" I did not reply because I was too distraught. I was in the restraints for about less than a half an hour, and I was able to talk to the staff member present and convince him I was gonna be good, and he reluctantly agreed to let me out of the chair and go back to the lobby. A couple days later, I was processed into the treatment area, where I was also attacked by a patient during my stay. And I also witnessed brutal fights and takedowns between staff and other patients. But during my stay, I had received a call on the phone from my sister Lisa, and I was told to go to the phones. I went to the phones, and once I picked it up, a patient that was using the phone next to me turned from having his back toward my way and slugged me in the chest close and direct. Being caught off guard, I dropped the phone I just picked up and began to wave a towel in my right hand and questioning the person in front of staff why they struck me and if they want to fight with me. All the staff and even the patients near there saw what happened and all chimed in together. No, don't fight. Once they saw it was about to climax, so I considered their request and I controlled myself from attacking back. Someone who just put their fist directly in the center of my chest also did not receive any punishment from staff, and who also was a bully that I would later confront alone in the TV room. Although nothing happened after that. When I was confined in TRC, I witnessed many things that would make even a mentally healthy person sick to their stomach. I saw patients that were unhappy, totally sad, and being abused. I saw fights. I saw takedowns. And I saw negligence of care and an unreasonable use of force. I also was on pill medication the whole time I was there and never missed a dose. During my time there, I believe they illegally drugged my food to hurt me, because I ate my meal and after my state of mind was actually altered and I experienced disconnectivity from myself, immobility, and a drunken sleep that I was eventually able to bring myself out of. Because I also have experience in yoga and meditation and the art of breathing. I also helped another patient who was drugged by staff with injection like me by providing meditation wisdom to that person. They drugged him because he got into a fight with the same patient that slugged me for no reason in my chest. By then the patients had began to confide and look up to me for the 2 weeks I was there, and they were sad and hopeless that I was going to discharge. But I could see in all their eyes they were afraid to be left defenseless. I had given them hope, a piece of joy, and most likely a feeling of safety and security. I told them I would call them when I was on the outside, but I did not do it. In my mind, I told myself, if they want to make it out, they got to want it from inside. I even heard staff members discussing private information pertaining to patients' cases and even mine. We were treated like gossip and pieces of trash. So after that I was released, and since then I do my best to never go back there. After my release, it was apparent to me that I am actually sick and I have been through a lot of hardship. I look for work but never are hired. I tried working for DoorDash, Postmates, and Uber, but I was always underpaid, never sent any deliveries, and unable to complete long shift hours weekly. I have lived around 15 years being sick with schizophrenia and having beyond less than normal help from family, friends, or support from the government. I am on a lifelong medication Abilify at first, and then Aristata now. I also take benztropine meds for my anxiety and muscle tension. Knowing this, working a full-time job would absolutely stress me out and affect my health. Out of all these years receiving medication through pills and injection, I have missed only one shot during all these years at OC Health Agency, where I was sent to outpatient program to try and gain direction in my struggle. They were unable to help me acquire benefits, and I was released from their program, and I was told to enroll in another one somewhere else. They said that my case and mental state was not severe enough to keep me there, but it is enough for them to keep me medicated for life and also deny me benefits while I struggle and starve. So why does the government take responsibility for me and not abide by the law and instructions from my first doctor in my case that I will need benefits because my condition would end up worsening? She was right, and here I am 15 years later still fighting to receive fair treatment, no life savings, an unsupportive society, family, and government. I wear the same clothes for years. There are days I go without eating, only because I have no way to earn or anyone to give money. I used to rely on EBT, but they discontinued it because they said I didn't update them when I returned the requested information. Even in the EBT office when I first got it, somebody put in the system that I owed child support when I have 0 biological children. This is one example of how people in the system hate and judge me without knowing or understanding anything about me. So I ended up losing my EBT and let off it. I have to request now money from my parents monthly to minimum bills, and it's up to me to find food. I get donations from a couple people once in a while, but it's never enough, appetizing, or suitable to sustain me. Today I went next to a business outside it because someone dumped boxes of top ramen noodles and boxes of bananas in the parking lot. So I grabbed 2 boxes of soups and 1 bunch of bananas. I left the rest for other hungry people. Being schizophrenic and trying to have a successful career is no easy task. I have been my own mentor, support, and guide for myself, in a country that claims to be my big brother and my Uncle Sam, but they have only bullied, denied, and judged me misfairly. The last medical appointment I went for injection, and the nurse asked me at the end, "What are you going to do today?" And I responded, "Not much, because the shot affects and prevents me from being fully active at the time of dose." Her response was, "It puts you down." This is a little bit of the kind of stuff I deal with. Another doctor before I was sent to Kaiser was in Huntington Beach. That doctor used to inject me and give my bottom a little slap or tap and acknowledged out loud, "It's good for you." Other times before, people in medically would rub the area after they inject me. I eventually looked up my medication on the internet, and it strictly states that when administering this medication, do not rub or tap or irritate the area of the entry of the puncture. These medical staff do not have the level of competence, experience, or education to reflect their training and job status, when they themselves cannot behave or treat you fairly because they think they're helping me by including their personal values or ego in my treatment, when I am just trying to live my life. Pretty soon, I will be 34 years old and I have no money for the future or the present. People have held me to the level of perfection, at the same time denying my real value or meeting that level themselves. No one is perfect. We all will go through struggles and hardships or even mistakes, but having this illness, I'm even at more of a disadvantage in the world, because money makes this world go round. But I never even got an unemployment check. I also never got one stimulus check, and I feel at least that I am human. I deserve to eat like anyone else. My case states I was angry and sick, but all the government did to help me was get mad at me in return, punish me for being sick, and devalue my worth as a living, breathing human being. It is not anyone's fault that this happened, but every day I am reminded of my problem. Every minute I am dreaming of a payday while having no way to get it. Every second I am in fear of what to do next because I don't want to lose my freedom and are worried about my future. How is a person like me supposed to live a normal life? How am I supposed to have a good career or perform a successful job when I am dealing with much more than that? I need time to heal my past, my current, and my future traumatic experiences. How can I focus on work and doing best for some boss when I have not been able to on my own life or for my own self? Even so much now, my dad has Parkinson's and my mother can no longer carry the workload by herself. I have become a helper for my area and people around me, but I receive little to no support in return. People take from me all the time, not knowing I am not even in the position to be helping every person that asks me. But still, I don't turn them away. I just try to find a way. People have seen I have an illness and instead try to put more stuff on me, hold me to unreasonable expectations, and question all that I do, at the same time denying giving me credit for being kind, helpful, and considerate, when my life has been the complete opposite. American citizens mock, make fun, insult, degrade, and even hurt people like me. Just because I have an illness does not make me less American or less human. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the government for accepting my case, diagnosing me as a paranoid schizophrenic and putting me on lifelong medication, and having an unsportive society that only disrespects my type of people, to provide financial relief and help so that I may at least try to live normal. I try to help myself and others around me, but I am in poverty. I am looked down upon by other family members, and even strangers I don't even know, only because I am unable to do things for them, when I never abandoned anyone. But when I sought help for my problems through the medical system and the government, was the moment I was abandoned by everyone that thinks they understand me, my life, and everything that I've been through. So much that elder siblings have power of attorney because of my father's condition, and are now blocking the little financial support that I was receiving from him. This is unfair, biased, and I am truly ashamed to call myself an American. I would rather claim my benefits and move to Italy because I know payment is still approved there. I am only going there to invoke Basaglia law and find real treatment and a supportive community that would accept me instead of reject and destroy me. People are in my face and ear telling me to go work and find a job to pay for my own way. When my life has been altered, and the government wants to hold me to their court-ordered treatment forever, but won't award my case benefits, that is one-sided, hypocritical, and unfair. And I see only a little bit of the amount of hate this country and the world has for me through these few lines. They question my sanity, but they themselves have insane protocols and standards that are ineffective, unhelpful, and harmful for me and other people. How is it that now a disabled person like me has become a light in the dark for others to find a way to solutions or success? How is that I am now responsible for taking care of other sick people like my mother and father and others around me, when I myself are sick and struggling to do even for myself? Because the ones who have the ability, the resources, and the control of finances should be the ones to help, but instead of supporting, they disregard, discredit, and unallow me to receiving anything but a cold, hard tip, when I have only made one mistake by becoming diagnosed. I know and feel it in my soul and spirit people blame me for way more than they should, and they use a nice, kind, and damaged person like me to take out their frustration, to unload and create false standards for my life, when that is not their job or responsibility. I am just a person with a mental illness in their eyes, but in my eyes, I'm a still child of God, and I am willing to suffer forever if it leads me to a better place than ever coming back to this mean place called America and the earth. It is no fun for me being here anymore, because every time I voice my complaints, express my emotions, or speak how I truly feel, I get corrected, I get attacked, and I get accused for being mad or angry. When the society I live in has done all these things and walked today on this earth, free, happy, and rich, while I am left to rot and fend for myself. Money does not get a person into heaven, but people live and die for this green dollar bill like there is no tomorrow. Do they think I want to expose, jeopardize, or limit the little bit of health that I still have left by trying to compete with everyone or hold a job, when at this point, it would be detrimental to me to force labor and lifelong treatment on me? This makes no sense to me, but it still makes for a great case, and I hope for my case to be an example, a lesson, and a teaching for others and create needed change in this world for people like me, not just US, the United States.
It's dark and hell is hot. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when it's on, cause when it's on, you niggas know to be gone every time, cause we don't play.